Morning.
Hello.
Jay, can you provide an update on Ryan Anderson, where he's at with his back?
Yeah, Ryan should go today.
You got the pads on last couple of days of practice you had. I know that when you get to the lines, that the pads, you can really start to tell a lot more. How did they defensive line? How did they come through that, and how did they look?
They did good. It was pretty good. It's the first time I put the full gear on, pants and everything. No, there wasn't, by golly.
We got rain in the forecast here for the next couple of days. How are you guys monitoring that?
Yeah, definitely in the morning, unless it's lightning, we're going to try to get out of practice, in the rain. Afternoon walkthroughs, that's different. I have to try to gauge how much rain there's going to be because I don't know how much we're going to get through when you have to walk through and it's pouring down rain. We might go in a gym or something like that, but even that gets congested. So like the other day, we just took that walkthrough period and had an extended meeting time, which was really good for guys to sit out and catch up on all the practice film and preview some other things that we're going to see.
Jay, when you have bringing this many guys from one school, say Virginia Tech, Alabama, does it make it easier for them to transition to this level, or does it make it easier to teach them when they all kind of know how each other plays?
A little bit, but I think more comfort level for those type guys because they have people that they know and they've been around, so they have at least somebody they can gravitate to instead of being brand new. It is being a new kid in the lunchroom at a new school. I know that because my dad was a coach. It's kind of uncomfortable, but these guys have a comfort level with the guys, but always there's going to be different ways of doing things, fundamental coverage, terminology, something they're going to have to study and learn, and maybe get out of some old habits that they've had that we have to try to break them of, which takes some time. But for the most part, I think having guys from the same school, comfort level with people is probably the best thing, but they're going to have to learn something new.
Jay, Josh Norman was saying the other day that having Alex Smith out there almost hurts his preparation because Alex is so precise with his throws that he doesn't get a whole lot of work in. What's the balance between trying to get Josh that kind of work and having a quarterback who's not really going to challenge him, because in a game you don't want him challenging those kind of corners?
Well, Josh should be getting plenty of work. I think the object of playing quarterback is getting the ball to the open guy and the right guy, and Alex is doing a pretty good job of that right now. So is Colt, and so is Kevin, for the most part. That's what this offense is built around, the quick game and getting the ball to the right guy. If you're playing cover two, we're not going to throw a flat right out to Josh Norman and let him pick it. That's just common sense. So Josh is going to have to wait for somebody else to throw it to him. But Josh is getting plenty of work. We're all getting plenty of work, and I think it's been good for everybody.
What have you seen from Pernell McPhee so far?
Who?
Pernell McPhee.
Pernell's done good. He's probably going to sit out today. But he's done a really good job. He's a nuisance rusher now. He doesn't look like he's got a lot of speed, but he gets around guys every time, man. He's very good, very productive, very strong, hard to block at the point of attack, and he's been a good surprise for us. I have a good idea of what Pernell McPhee's about from my days at Cincinnati when he was at Baltimore, and he was really a pain. He played up outside, lined up over the guard, and was really, really good. And then he, had some injuries at Chicago, wasn't quite as productive, but I'm banking on the fact we're getting Pernell McPhee from Baltimore and able to move him around and do different things with him is exciting. He can do a lot of things. Smart kid and very athletic.
Coach, when you draft Trey Quinn with the last pick and he's come in here, he's got an uphill battle to make the roster, what stands out about his game and his determination with this uphill battle he's climbing to make the roster?
Yeah, it's he's fun to watch. He's very smart. You don't catch 115 balls in college, unless you have some kind of idea how to get open in the zones. And they weren't all bubble screens. He caught option routes, seam balls, double moves from the outside, from the inside. He did a lot of good things at SMU, and he's shown his ability to move around, grasp a system, see coverage, adjust, break in and out of cuts pretty effortlessly. And really, he's got really, really strong, good hands. As good a hands as I've seen out of that position. Big, strong hands. So really big upside for him right now. We're teaching him mostly slot behind Jameson in case something happens to Jameson, so it's great to have that depth there. He also can return punts, but also he has the ability to play outside.
Coach, Kaishan Jarrett is here working on your staff. Can you explain, is he an intern? Is he going to be an assistant coach through the season? And what you think of his determination to get back into the game?
Yeah, I think Kaishan, you draft Kaishan, and we saw what kind of player he was and what kind of mind he had for the game, that he'd be a great coach, and we want to keep him in this organization some way, somehow. Now it's a matter of film. We're going to let him basically, it's like an internish type role, but he's going to work with the defensive backs and partly special teams, get his foot wet as far as when it comes to coaching. Want to make sure this is something that he wants to do, he's committed to do, and if he is, he'll be an unbelievable football coach. So we're getting his feet wet with obviously Coach Gray and Coach Rowe, and he'll work with Coach Muncie Week a little bit also. Oh, he's working out every day. He's still working. Yeah, it was a tough injury, obviously, when you're talking about nerves and all that stuff, and he's starting to slowly but surely get some strength back, and looks great.
Jay, you guys seem to have a top four outside linebacker with McPhee, Anderson, and then Kerrigan and Smith. Who are some of the guys that have impressed you behind those? And
Petey's been unbelievable. Yeah, he's been great. He very, very athletic, and you're talking about a guy that can possibly help on special teams as your fourth or fifth linebacker, and he's one because he can run. You know, last year we had him on the practice squad a little bit, and he was active late, but he was doing some running back stuff for us because we don't have all the injuries we had at running back, and he's a great athlete. So he can rush the passer. You know, he's a defensive end in college, and we tried him an inside linebacker for a little while. That wasn't quite his cup of tea. We moved him back down as an outside backer, defensive end, and nickel, and he's done very, very well.
Hey, what's the timeline you're looking at as far as making Jordan Reed a full-time participant in camp? How close is he, and at what point would you want him to be back so he's ready for that first week?
Yeah, we're going to go these next 3 days. We have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then we have off on Friday, and then we come back Saturday for Fan Day, I believe. I'm trying to get him some team reps in there, just a couple, and then slowly get him going. So we're just going to take it slow, but hopefully Saturday, get him a couple team reps, and go from there and build off of it.
Hey, Coach, Martez Carter is in a unique position that he didn't play football the last 2 years. What have you seen from him, and sort of what's the path of him to really stand out and sort of catch up to these other guys?
At running back?
Yeah.
It's tough. You know, he's trying to take advantage of his reps. He doesn't get many because we have 6 guys in front of him right now, you know, but very similar. You know, you go back to the days with Rob Kelly when Rob Kelly was the 7th guy on the totem pole. And every time Rob got the ball, we're like, who's number 22? And then he ended up making the team. So hopefully that'll happen with Martez. The more he gets comfortable, the more reps he gets, that he'll catch our eye. But, you know, it's tough because, you know, he's not a very big guy, so he's really not a first, second down back. And the skill set that you have to have for the third down back, he doesn't have quite yet. But I think he's kind of a tweener. But I think he can do some first, second down stuff and possibly some third down, but we'll wait and see.
Jay, concerning the tackling, the emphasis on lowering the helmet, have you guys met with officials, and can you specify exactly how you guys are teaching it now?
Yeah, the officials are coming, but we also have had multiple videos. You know, I think the Coach Vrabel made one, Coach Quinn made one. A number of coaches made these videos on, you know, for different positions on basically what not to do and how to not use your helmet as a weapon. And I think that's a big thing we're just trying to get over. You know, whether it's a defensive end rushing against a tackle, sticking your face in there like that, or, you know, a defensive back leading with your head, even a running back leading with your head. We're just trying to get that part out of the game. Now, there are going to be some bang-bang plays that I'm concerned about, you know, because guys have to lower their shoulder, which means their head goes down and it's full speed. Somebody makes a cut, it's going to look like it, but it's not the intent. But hopefully we'll get all that written down on what the exact rule is. But right now I just know the fundamental thing is if you are using that head as a weapon, you're going to be called and possibly ejected.
Coach, with the weather forecast and the field conditions out there, can we get an update on the status of Jay Gruden, the defensive back?
Jay Gruden is questionable today with a sore shoulder, foot, ankle, knee, and finger.
How much do you have to work to make sure that he's not trying to do a little bit too much and putting a little bit more pressure on himself?
You know, it's the same thing with all these guys. You know, when you're talking about your best players, Chris and Jordan, Trent and Morgan, and some of these guys, you got to get out there and practice. But it's sometimes you treat them like a China doll. You're like, oh, please don't get hit. You know what I mean? But eventually they're going to have to put the pads on and practice. And Chris is getting to a point right now. We're going to put him some team periods a day. You know, watch what reps he has, and the defense will take good care of him because they know what kind of value he has this football team. But he's coming along great, and I anticipate him being full go sooner than later.
Coach, back here, sir. Talk a little bit about the progress of Kevin Hogan so far at training camp.
Kevin's been great. You know, it's just another one like Martez. You know, some of these down the line guys, they don't get many reps in practice. Alex needs as many as he can get, and then the ones that are left, Colt is a ball hog. He's going to take the rest of them, so we have to tell Colt to get out of there and get Kevin in there. But Kevin's done a good job. Kevin has always been a smart quarterback, without a doubt. University of Stanford, it's well documented what he's done in his production there. At Cleveland, he did some good things when he did start. Very mobile. A very similar skill set to Alex in the fact that he can run and throw and do some good things. He just hasn't had quite the reps so we have a great chance to look at him. But when you're a third-string quarterback, you better be smart. And when you do get your reps, you better know where to go with the ball, and Kevin's done a good job of that.
Coach, with the New England game coming up next week, what do you want to see from your team this week to get prepped for that game next week?
For New England game, quite honestly, we don't do a whole lot of game prep for New England. We're going to try to give them the base looks that we're going to see so we can at least be fundamentally sound and pick up any kind of blitz that might come our way. But really, we're trying to get a look at our guys. And I think we were talking about the first, second preseason game. You're trying to get a little bit of momentum going for the regular season. But the most important thing I need to do is try to figure out our best 53 and make sure we get the guys in there we need to see and give them opportunities to make plays and do some things that they can show their skill set.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.